Hi guys, okay, today's video is going to be really short because I'm in a rush. I don't even have the book anymore because I returned it, and the reason I returned it was because it was basically referencing this other book by Elena Danaan, and I'm like, why am I reading this book if all it's referencing is this book? So I just bought the Elena Danaan books. But the book that we are going to be reviewing today is this, The Galactic Federation's Councils and Secret Space Programs by Dr. Michael Salla, or Saya, and it's book 7 of the Secret Space program series. So like always, I just write down the notes that I found important. I kind of skimmed through the whole book because I didn't want to read all of it if he was referencing everything from Elena Danaan's book, so I just bought her books and I'll read it later. Right now I'm reading Conversations with Nostradamus by Dolores Cannon, so expect an epic review coming maybe by the end of the month. I'm still on like page 100 of that book. It's really good, but the next 2 weeks I'm probably not going to have anything come out because I am going to get my wisdom teeth removed next week, so I am going to be in healing journey from that. Okay, so I'm just gonna start. So up until recently, all that was known about Val Thor came from Strange's book. The book was called Stranger at the Pentagon. Newsletters and interviews since he claimed to have continued meetings with Val Thor near Lake Mead, Nevada. That situation changed dramatically with when new information concerning Val Thor appeared in Elena Danaan's book called We Will Never Let You Down. In that book, she talked about physically meeting with Val Thor on multiple occasions beginning in December 2020. Val Thor shared vital new information about Eisenhower and his problems with the MJ-12 group. Val Thor told Danaan that he had convinced Eisenhower to work with the Galactic Federation of Worlds, but the MJ-12 group instead made agreements with the Orion Greys, aka the Nibu, and Draconian German alliance out of Antarctica behind his back. The MJ-12 agreements obliged Eisenhower to uphold their terms, even though Eisenhower was working with and may have even reached an agreement with the Galactic Federation. In the meantime, the Majestic 12 group was operating behind Eisenhower's back, arranged meetings, conducting negotiations, and eventually even signing and implementing agreements with the Orion Greys and Antarctic German Draconia Empire without Eisenhower's approval. I keep looking because like my ring light looks like it's gonna go out on this section. How is that possible? Okay. This takes us to the conclusion that Eisenhower was betrayed. This is how Danaan describes the betrayal in We Will Never Let You Down. President Dwight Eisenhower decided, for the greater good of humanity and his love for children, to make an agreement with the benevolent emissaries of the Galactic Federation. But the Majestic 12 committed behind his back instead with the Greys. The military-industrial complex signed with the devil with the blood of humanity. Eisenhower apparently was betrayed since he wanted to work with the positive extraterrestrials who insisted that thermonuclear weapons development had to be abandoned before they would begin to share advanced technologies. The Majestic 12 instead reached an agreement behind his back with negative extraterrestrial factions that had no such precondition for reaching an agreement and beginning technological exchanges. This took the US and humanity down a very difficult path. The preparation of the 24 civilizations in gathering forces is to make people upon planet Earth aware and alert to bring the prevention of greater difficulties. Apocalyptic prophecies are not necessary to be fulfilled if those that exist upon planet Earth have awareness and understanding. What we also have learned from President Vladimir Putin and a military intelligence group associated with the Q movement was that the global elite are practicing Satanists who conjure up the power of demonic and other negative entities to subjugate humanity and the spirit of the planet. In this regard, what Putin effectively said in his 2013 State of the Nation address was the New World Order worships Satan. These dark magic ceremonies are routinely held at different energy vortexes or sacred sites around the planet, as revealed by many occult researchers such as Fritz Springmeier in his book series Bloodlines of the Illuminati. More recently, Brad Olson, a highly competent researcher and author, also revealed many of these black magic Satanist practices in his book series Beyond Esoteric. There is a complete control over the human race, and to think that black magic could be used to control the masses is disturbing. The occult is employed on a new kind of fascism today among some of the elite globalists who completely control almost every aspect of our lives. Research indicates that occult ceremonies and rituals at the upper levels go far beyond what anyone can imagine. Why is it so hard to believe that occult practices are a real tool for control? The global elites are using this power to bargain their getaway from the planet through the Antarctica portal, which is now in the hands of the Earth Alliance, to gain their freedom passage through the Antarctica portal to a new world in another galaxy. The elites have to hand over all the keys and codes of the black magic used to subjugate humanity and the Earth. As to what black magic keys and codes were used, we get an idea from Una's reference to a dark ancient institution, those of the name the number 33. This almost certainly refers to Scottish Rite Freemasonry, which uses 33 levels of initiation. While most Freemasons perform genuine philanthropic works as they ascend the different degrees of their order, their top leaders at the 33-degree level have long been suspected of worshiping Lucifer and practicing black magic. What the negatives do, and they can do this during an abduction or near-death experience, is the following. During an abduction, a man, for instance, will be taken aboard a ship. His body will be brought into a coma and to the point of death wherein the soul exits. They will then use technology to replace the original soul with another soul. They then return the individual's body back. They can do this process in 4 seconds. The new individual has a completely new agenda. If you are a negatively oriented ET, in order to manipulate third density, you have to be in third density. At the time, MJ-12 was led by the 33-degree Freemason Alan Dulles, CIA director from 1953 to 1961, who would almost certainly have integrated such technologies into black magic ceremonies to control the planet. It's now easier to understand that Dulles' role in the Kennedy assassination, which is explained in my book Kennedy's Last Stand 2013, was timed and executed as part of a magical ritual to control the planet. As to what happened to the original soul of the victim of soul harvesting, Alex Collier described how the Andromeda Council would often intercept gray ships carrying the souls of many thousands of children and adults. The souls had been extracted from their bodies and placed in special boxes for transportation. In an interview with UFO researcher Val Thor, Alex described how the life force of the captured souls would then be exploited. So this is what he says. They, the Andromedans, also found more than 1,000 human children that had been placed in cryogenic stasis in over 1 million of these little boxes that contain the life forces of souls from Earth. Val says captured human souls, and then, what's his name? Alan says souls, and then Val says, and what do they do with these souls? And Alan says, they feed off the energy radiated by the souls. What they are doing, Val, is that they are taking the life force and they are somehow siphoning it off a little at a time and feeding it to the hybrids in order to keep them alive, trying to keep them alive and create a soul in them. Soul harvesting was among the most terrible of the many dark practices of the global elite. It comprised both technological and black magic means to split a soul from the body and utilize its energy for dark purposes for indefinite periods. Una's like one of the ETs. Una's reference to the soul harvester that was worshipped by Freemasons and the global elite appears to be a reference to Lucifer, who sits at the apex of the 9 levels of darkness. So before the elites would be sent to the prison planet in another galaxy, they needed to first hand over all the black magic keys and codes. Regarding the new monetary system that has been prepared, Una referred to a quantum abstract rather than paper or metals. This appears to be a reference to the quantum financial system described earlier. which is linked to a quantum supercomputer that will operate through Elon Musk's Starlink and US Space Command in a highly complex and integrated global financial system. The QFS appears to have been developed with extraterrestrial assistance, according to one widely cited source. So last part, the 9 elders are the highest level of individuated consciousness before Source. Some call them the 9 gods, others the 9 prophets of Source. They do not live in a definite dimension, but in no dimension. I mean, for you to understand, they dwell in between the created universes, in a place where time and space are uncreated. We call it the void or the sanctuary. Their consciousness encompasses all consciousnesses. They can fractally divide themselves to be present simultaneously in as many places as they wish. For they do not travel in space nor in time, but they connect to a location and an entity when they want to pass on a message or act, whatever the distance, whenever the time. For them, time occurs only when they connect to a space-time continuum, and they are the first children of Source. So that was about the Council of Night at the very end. Hopefully that made your brain go a little crazy in the washer. But yeah, that's what I got the most from skimming through that book, because like I said, I'm just gonna give you a huge review on the Elena Danan's books, A Gift from the Stars, and then the other ones, We Will Never Let You Down. Those I'm gonna read after Dolores Cannon, so probably expect that review like in November or December. But other than that, let me know what you guys thought about that information. Once again, take it or leave it.